What up, is Marcus Dynasty with us. We just painted this nursery. My wife is due in November 4th. I don't even know if I've mentioned that to the Dynasty Dads crew. We have number 2 coming on the way. It's going to make life a little bit crazy. So November 4th is our due date. We're going to be doing the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players that I have been valuing in 2023 drafts. And these are some Dynasty buys that I've been buying, and these are some redraft players that I have been drafting ahead of their ADP. The first one we're going to go after is Geno Smith. Geno Smith, I think sometimes we forget that he was QB5 last year. He has Zach Charbonnet. He has Jackson Smith-Njigba, the best pass-catching running back, the best receiver, and I think in this draft. And you get those two weapons, plus still DK, plus still Tyler Lockett. I don't understand why Geno Smith is being drafted completely he's being the last pick in a lot of redrafts, and he's being left to dead. It's like, yeah, he made one good season. I've seen him as big busts on a lot of ESPN websites and Fantasy Pros websites and stuff. They've been saying bust, bust, bust. And I'm saying, hey, I think Geno Smith is going to have another good year. If not, we're going to have some huge concerns about all of the weapons of Seattle. I mean, that's a huge concern. So, but I think Seattle is going to have I think they're going to have a good year. I do. I think Pete Carroll knows what to do. It's like when you have Seattle and Pittsburgh, you have two good coaches, in my opinion. They're always going to be competitive in some nature, even though how bad we think they're going to be. In fact, last year, we thought Seattle was going to be a bad team, and they just weren't. They ended up being a decent team. The next quarterback we're actually going to do is Kenny Pickett. The reason why I said Kenny Pickett is he does have some mobility. He's not a statue, so he does have some mobility. He had a pretty rocky first year. But let's look at any of the other quarterbacks in this league. You have Trevor Lawrence. You even have Peyton Manning. Anybody not named Baker Mayfield has had a rough rookie year. And so Kenny Pickett, I think, could easily have a huge jump in their second year. This is probably more of a dynasty move than a redraft move, unless your redraft move is I have a redraft league where I have 18 teams. Yes, 18 teams. And in that case, Kenny Pickett is going to be somebody that I'm going to be targeting because I think he's going to have a better second year here. I'm on a rocking chair, by the way. I feel like an old guy that I'm on a rocking chair, but hopefully this doesn't turn into just some green screen. All right, we're going to go to some running backs here. Another Seattle. In fact, I actually don't like Seattle personally because I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan, and so yeah, there's that. And I remember the Blair Walsh 27-yard missed field goal to the left, and yeah. Anyways, but Kenneth Walker. I think we are leaving Kenneth Walker. I mean, he is just falling in draft boards. I believe I got him in the 5th or 6th round. I get it. He doesn't catch as much. But he had over 1,200 yards. He was runner-up rookie of the year last year. He was the second best running back in the draft class behind Breece Hall. If Breece Hall was healthy, we know where he would be. If Zach Charbonnet was, let's just say, not drafted by Seattle, they drafted somebody else. They drafted Israel Abanikanda. You would see Kenneth Walker probably into that Nick Chubb area, that Derrick Henry area in the second round. Yes, Zach Charbonnet is going to take away some valuable touches if he is healthy. But I think Kenneth Walker easily could have this 100 yards a game type of year. And if you're getting him into that 5th, 6th round, like I've been seeing him fall, two players I've seen absolutely fall off cliffs right now. Breece Hall because of Dalvin Cook, and Kenneth Walker just because people are just souring on they think that Zach Charbonnet is just going to completely destroy his upside. And Zach Charbonnet's got to stay healthy, so that's a big key. The next one is Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders has been somebody that I've either loved or hated. It's kind of been okay, I think he's ranked too high. I think he's ranked too low. I think he's ranked too high. Now I think he's just ranked too low. I mean, his targets as an Eagle has gone down. It's gone from 63 to 52 to 34 to 26 targets even when he was an RB1 last year. It just shows that they were not using him in the receiving game. Kenneth Gainwell is an excellent pass catcher. They had Boston Scott. There's no reason to use him as a pass catcher. Well, guess what? Carolina, what are they going to do? They have to run the football, and there's going to be a lot of dump-offs. I feel like that is going to be a lot of the Carolina game, and so I think Miles Sanders he's easily RB2, but he's an excellent running back that could be running back 13, 14. I could see a Najee Harris year of last year. Look what Najee did last year. The first half was rocky. Everyone was selling, and I was like, buy. And his last half of the year ended up turning around and being a really good productive performance. I see the same type of thing for Miles Sanders. So if you don't buy now, buy a little bit into the season. I think that would be great. The next one is Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy's been one of my favorite players, just in general, just because I loved his route running coming out of college. I mean, I can't remember what they called it. He would just make people look silly because he was like a joystick. But if you look at his yards, the last 5 games, 73, 76, 117, 34, 154. He started to get it together. Courtland Sutton was somebody that I was selling. I said, I don't believe in Courtland Sutton. The Denver offense was the worst ranked offense. They can't get any worse. So I think that they're going to get better. I think this is the perfect time to draft Jerry Jeudy, who I think is going to get the targets. I think he's going to get the yards. There's no Tim Patrick, which not only myself has been saying it, but I felt like everyone else in the Dynasty community and the fantasy community was like, Tim Patrick, he might be a little bit of a concern. He's gone. And unfortunately, KJ Hamler's gone. And so I think Jerry Jeudy is the alpha on a team that hopefully will take a step forward. We always say jokingly with not Russell Wilson, but I mean, Russell Wilson, even it was like Russell Wilson and Zach Wilson were the 2 worst quarterbacks, and Russell Wilson was so bad. The next wide receiver, I just don't get. I've been drafting again super late for what he's been. Mike Evans. Mike Evans is being drafted behind a position that he's never even finished. So his lowest finish is 22. He's being drafted after that. So his finishes are 13, 22, 2, 17, 9, 15, 11, 9, 17. So, yes, yeah, he had a little bit of a touchdown dip this year. He's a shoo-in for 1,000 to 1,100 yards. Right now, predictions are that he's going to be under that 1,000-yard mark, but I want to see it first. He's literally done it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight seasons of 1,000 yards. If you get a 1,000-yard receiver at that position in the draft where am I spitting or what is going on? I'm getting so excited. If I'm getting a 1,000-yard receiver and 7-8 touchdowns out of that position where Mike Evans is being drafted, I am extremely happy. And I just feel like we are getting bored of seeing the same old thing over and over again, which is one of my biggest fantasy issues at times, where I just see the same thing over and over again. I'm just like, meh, I'm bored. Stephon Diggs is like that in the first round. I've seen him get passed on because everyone just thinks, oh, it's the same thing. Pause 1 sec. I'm back. I had to do the last player. It is Chig Okonkwo. I had to pause there just for a second because my wife was coming up. So, and she had a couple questions before she had to get back to work. So, tight end, Chig Okonkwo. 32 catches for over 400 yards and 3 touchdowns at the end of his rookie season. If you look at all the advanced metrics, he looks like to be that next tight end statistically to make that jump. There's always a big thing. Everyone has their big 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 tight ends that are going to make the next jump. I think it could be Chig Okonkwo. We have 2 concerns. 1, DeAndre Hopkins now is going to be taking a ton of target share. And number 2, they don't have a good quarterback. At least not right now. We don't know if that's going to be Ryan Tannehill. We don't know if that's going to be Will Levis. Probably not Malik Willis. Malik Davis, Dallas running back. Probably not Malik Willis. It's just going to be a mess there. And so if it's going to be a mess, honestly, that is going to be the biggest issue for Chig. But if you're going to have bad quarterback play, you hopefully that they're doing lower ADOTs, and maybe that Chig Okonkwo can be that safety net in the middle of the field. So we'll see. Sometimes tight ends are a bad quarterback's best friend. All right, peace out. Take care. We'll see you guys again tomorrow.